So this is where the signs were becoming even more evident. So after God confirmed for my husband, when he saw that Texas license plate right in front of us, I asked the Lord, where in Texas? I said, Lord, okay, where are we going in Texas? Because I looked it up and I saw that Texas was huge and had multiple cities. So the Lord said San Antonio. And I was like, San Antonio, what? Because it was the first time I was hearing about that name. So I called a friend because the Lord also brought to mind that I went to film school with a classmate of mine, and she had told me that she lived in Texas, but we were not in contact very often. We didn't talk often, and it was like once a blue we would hit each other up. And that very moment, she came back to mind, and I called her. And as I'm calling her, I see the name San Antonio that pops up on my screen telling me that she's actually living in San Antonio. So I was like, okay, God, I hear you, I see you. And from that moment on, my husband and I, we kept seeing the name San Antonio, we kept hearing the name San Antonio, we were listening to preaching, and out of the blue, the ministers or the pastors, they're talking about, oh, they're doing like a revival in San Antonio. It's all, we just kept hearing the name San Antonio over and over again. So we knew for sure. I literally called one of the bishops from our former church, and I was talking to him about what the Lord was doing and what the Lord was saying to us and explaining things to him. And he says, well, I'm not saying that the Lord said to me or that's what the Lord is saying, but I just went down. My son actually joined the military, and he is based in San Antonio, and my wife and I were going down to San Antonio over the weekend to see him off. I said nothing. I just smiled, and I'm like, okay, God, that's again another confirmation. So from that moment on, when I was talking with my friend, she was excited, telling me, girl, I know New York City, you gotta go, and if God is telling you to go, you gotta go. So we started talking about going to Texas, and she's like, come down, come see what it looks like, and let's plan. You guys can stay over with me and stuff like that. And we were trying to plan that out. It was not working at all, period. To the point where I had to pull back, and I said, Lord, like, what's going on? On her end, things were going on. They were not available on our end. It was like things were just getting tighter and tighter. And we were like, okay, God, what's going on? Until my husband went on the road, and that day, I think I stayed back to cook or something. I don't remember what I stayed back to do, but I was home and he was out on the road. And I went and I was seeking the Lord, and I said, Lord, what's going on? Then the Lord said to me, I did not ask you to go check it out. I asked you to move. Because remember, he said move, and then he said trust, and then I saw the moving truck with that was written move at the front and trust at the side of it. And I'm like, oh, that actually makes sense. You didn't ask me to go check it out. You asked me to trust you. And that's what I'm supposed to do, just trust you. So that was clear as day. So when my husband came back, I told him, and he's like, that actually makes sense. We actually missed it. And I said, yeah. So that's for somebody out there. If you, God is telling you to do something and you see like it's not working out, don't hesitate to go back to the Lord and ask the Lord what's happening, because you might just be trying to put your own 2 cents into things and forgetting what God actually asked you to do. So from that moment on, things were getting real. So I said, Lord, we don't have family out there. We don't know Texas there. We don't have jobs there. We know nothing. And I said, Lord, I'm asking you to show us where you want us to live, where exactly the location. I'm asking you to lead us because we don't know. So at the time, and at the same time, God was on my YouTube feed, I was getting a lot of YouTube videos talking about God moving other people supernaturally, and they were posting their testimonies, and it was just on my feed consistently. So God was not, he was building my faith, and he was also showing me that he's doing a new thing, and he is repositioning his people and placing them in the land, in the territory where they belong because of purpose, divine purpose and alignment. So I was getting comfort in it, and at the same time he was building our faith, because he was showing us, this is what I am doing. God will never do something in your life without revealing to you what he's doing exactly. Okay, so that's for somebody out there. So I was watching YouTube videos. We were looking for houses. I'm like, God, is it a house? Is it an apartment? What are you saying? Until the Lord, one of the people that we were listening to for houses, he said, if you're looking for an apartment, here's the link. And I felt in my spirit, the Lord was saying apartment, not house, not yet. So we looked into it, and as I was going over the information about the companies, one company stood out to me, and the name of that company is, it actually means reborn. And I was like, reborn, God is doing something new, and that name actually means reborn. So as my husband and I were scouting and looking at the apartments, I saw our apartment, and I fell in love with this apartment. And I was like, I want this one. I felt God on this one. Stay tuned for what comes next.